We're very fortunate today to be interviewing David Teese. He's a business manager at Spark. So David, tell me your story. When did you come to New Zealand, or when did your family come to New Zealand and become citizens or permanent residents?
Great, thanks mate. Second generation Chinese, and both parents were born here. So grew up in Wellington, went to school and university down there and started my working career there. Moved to Auckland just through that career and spent a bit of time overseas as well. So one of 4 boys in our family, poor mum. But we've very much been assimilated into the New Zealand and Western culture.
So tell me about your concept of voting, and citizenship, and the importance of voting for you, particularly with the flag referendum coming up, and also with the fact that later this year we've got local government elections.
Yeah, indeed. Voting for me personally is extremely important, and the reason why is that a lot of people will say to me, look, it's your duty as a citizen to vote, and I guess it is, but I vote not because of the duty, although that is there, but it's something that makes me feel good doing. It makes me feel part of New Zealand, part of the country, and part of society. Now, it's a little different for those that weren't born in New Zealand, but the opportunity for them to feel the same goodness about themselves is there. I mean, my father in particular, who again, he was born in Te, but both his parents were born in China. He's always said to us, look, if you're going to come to a Western society, you have a great opportunity to embrace the best parts of Western culture, but always hang on to your tradition, hang on to your traditional roots. And voting is a great way to do that. It tells people that, hey, I'm a Kiwi, I'm a New Zealander, I'm making a difference, and I'm doing it because I want to, not because I feel I have to.
So tell me about whether or not there was a tradition of voting, a habit of voting in your family, because it must have been really hard. I mean, your grandparents came out from China. I mean, it must have been hard for them to get citizenship, permanent residence, and to start voting themselves.
Yeah, it was, mate. It was extremely hard. I think it's probably similar to a lot of the challenges that.
Were they subject to the poll tax?
Yes, they were. Yeah, they were. And they originally landed in the South Island, and they landed in the middle of gold rush fever and all the profiteering that came after that. So
what did they do? Were they panning for gold, or were they storekeepers? What were they?
Yeah, they were storekeepers, and they were providing sort of services and mainly around market gardens and
where were they? Were they down in Arrowtown?
Yes, they were. Yeah, well, they're based in Christchurch, and they moved around that region. Actually, my great-grandfather came over first, and his wife stayed in China, and she came out later on.
That's fantastic that they actually managed to repatriate, because for many of them they never managed to get their wives.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
So were they actually ever eligible to vote?
No. They weren't actually eligible, no, and I think that's a big drive behind my parents.
Sure.
Wanting to and feeling so strongly about voting.
Sure.
So, but I also think that's where it really started with my mother and father, and their siblings as well, is that I think even my grandparents coming into New Zealand didn't feel like they could vote. It was too much putting the head above the parapet, too much tall poppy type stuff. So I think they were a little worried about upsetting the local society. So I don't think they would have voted even if they could.
Yeah, right.
However, it changed a lot with my parents.
No, I'm sure. I don't think they could vote actually.
No.
I don't think they had voting rights. So when your parents could vote, they made sure they exercised it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it is because it really was, really cementing the fact that we're New Zealanders and we're exercising our right as New Zealanders, but because we want to. And I think a story my father told me is, which I'm sure people have heard before, which is, someone's walking on the beach and there's 10,000 starfish on the beach, all stranded in the high tide. And this little boy's seen walking down, and he's picking one up and he's throwing it into the surf, and comes along, picks another one and throws it in the surf. And a man says to him, what are you doing? You're never going to pick all tens of thousands of things up. He says, look, you're not going to make a difference. And he picks up one, throws it in the surf, he says, look, it made a difference to that one. And I think one by one we can all make a difference, and every bit helps. And I think that's why I vote, and my family votes, and all my brothers and cousins vote as well, because it makes a difference.
So if you were to speak to migrants now out there, what would you say to them? Because as you know, the voting rate for migrants is really low.
Yes, yeah.
So you might want to say something to camera.
Yeah, sure. I think really it's that essence of the fact that, to really fit into the society and fit into New Zealand culture, it's a great opportunity to do that. I mean, you can say to your friends, look, hey, I voted and I'm proud of it and I made a difference. And that will encourage them to vote as well. It does make a difference. Your vote does count. It makes you feel good about yourself. Do it for that. Do it for yourself. and you know, you won't regret it.
Great, thank you, David.
Thanks, mate.